This is about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitlin Clark does not deserve a spot ahead of any of the players on this roster. Okay? If we're talking just basketball, you know we're not. You know we're not.
Something just occurred that shook the entire sports media world. There was no warning or build-up, just a single decision that threw timelines into chaos and revealed who was truly ready and who wasn't. Reactions escalated, opinions became more chaotic, and one familiar commentator went from confident to completely unglued almost instantly. Everyone is debating the implications, but very few are focusing on the real question, and that's what makes this so intriguing.
You ready to admit the Caitlin Clark effect? Is this happening without Caitlin Clark? Without the popularity? Because we've seen what happened to the ratings when she was out for those 2-3 weeks. Remember that, right? Don't let me bring that up. Don't let me get some receipts now. When Caitlin Clark was out, the WNBA's popularity dissipated. That is a fact.
The meltdown didn't start with chaos. It started with shock. The kind of shock that makes a grown man stare blankly, as if his connection to reality just got cut. Somewhere between outrage and confusion, you could see Stephen A. Smith's energy vanish the instant the news broke that Caitlin Clark was finished with Team USA.
That's popularity. She's number one, and it's not even close. Do you want to have Caitlin Clark on the roster? And if you do, who are you taking off? And how do you tell that person, hey, we want to have the popular girl on? And Caitlin Clark has been playing basketball for almost 10 consecutive months now. She could use a break. I don't want to speak on her behalf, but from what I've seen, she's gone through an awful lot. This is what Team USA is probably worried about. Caitlin Clark's on the bench and she's not getting any run. And then the fans get upset. Now, that was reported by Christine Brennan.
Not injured, not benched, not taking a mysterious break. She simply chose to leave, casually, as if she had somewhere more important to be. And judging by the reactions, that decision seemed to completely upend the emotional foundation of sports television.
USA Women's Basketball was assembling this Olympic squad, and they said, strictly based on the numbers, while Caitlin Clark is an outstanding basketball player, we just don't think she's there yet. And we don't want to take away a spot from someone else that we believe is more deserving from a basketball standpoint, even though we know that she brings millions of eyeballs to this sport. If they left her off this roster because there's concern that her millions of fans would be upset with the amount of playing time that she has, that is absolutely ridiculous.
This wasn't just any player leaving. It was the superstar refusing the crown. The golden goose gracefully excusing herself from the table while everyone else was still ready to pounce. And Stephen A. took it personally. Not professionally, personally. The kind of personally where your veins look like they're starring in a Marvel movie and common sense gets shown the door.
She's white. And because of that, when you consider some of the hard times other people gave her, they were resentful of the fact that this white girl came on the scene where there was a bunch of sisters that preceded her spanning decades that were big time that deserved a lot of credit. I mean, people looked at the Cheryl Swoops of the world, the Maya Moores of the world, and others, and they said, yo, there was a bunch of people that came before her that did big things for the WNBA. I respect it. It is right. I appreciate it. But whiteness does have its privilege.
In Stephen Yes' world, Team USA isn't just a basketball program. It's Mount Olympus. Caitlin Clark turning down an invitation wasn't seen as a career choice. It was treated like an act of national betrayal. Somewhere, an eagle probably cried. The outrage hit fast, loud, and dripping with dramatic disbelief. How could anyone refuse the honor, the privilege, the chance to wear the jersey, hear the anthem, and bask in the patriotic spotlight of a tournament most of the country only watches when men play? This was supposed to be her coronation, the moment she became everyone's favorite topic, brand ambassador, and ratings magnet all at once. Instead, she chose peace. And Stephen A. does not respect peace. What came next wasn't analysis. It was performance art. She didn't storm out like a reality show contestant. She simply opted out calmly, deliberately, with the confidence of someone who knows exactly what she's doing and doesn't need validation from daytime TV.
Ticket prices, television ratings, it's a fact. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. That's not to throw shade on a product and act like it doesn't grow at all. It's not to say that there was an improvement and there wasn't an elevation in its popularity. It's just saying that it's on another dimension when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Do you know what the best thing that could happen for the WNBA is right now? Are you ready for this? If Caitlin Clark...
That's the real issue. Sports media can handle drama, it thrives on it. What it can't tolerate is autonomy, especially from a player marketed as the savior of an entire league. The ratings booster, walking endorsement deal, the reason cameras suddenly remembered women's basketball exists. Stephen A. wasn't upset about a roster move. He was reacting to a disruption of the narrative. The story where Caitlin Clark shows up, dominates, waves the flag, and everyone else falls in line. That script got shredded, and the noise you heard was Stephen A.'s blood pressure spiking. Beneath all the yelling, it comes down to one simple truth. Caitlin Clark flipped the equation. She chose rest, focus, and her long-term career over a short-term spectacle. And somehow, that was labeled selfish. Stephen Yes' reaction made it feel like she personally canceled Christmas.
Not blame her. I applaud it. I say do it. Get as far away from the WNBA as you can. Let that league sink. Okay, do not help them, Caitlin. Get away. I believe you could create your own league. Okay, you could be the fucking player that creates whatever, the next professional women's basketball league. Let this one just go and let Caitlin try to build the next WNBA. I don't know what we'll call it. Maybe we can even do 3-on-3 or 4-on-4, something.
The irony here could bounce off the rim. For years, athletes have been told to protect their bodies, manage their workload, and think long-term until they actually do it. Then it's labeled a character flaw, a lack of commitment, even disrespect to a jersey that will still exist tomorrow, next year, and long after the talking heads move on to the next outrage cycle. What really fueled the drama was the unspoken expectation that Caitlin Clark owed something, not to her team, not to her health, but to the spectacle, the cameras, and the endless debate panels that need her name to justify their airtime. Stephen A. didn't have to spell it out. About overuse, about the league failing to protect its star, the outrage would have simply shifted focus. But by stepping away on her own terms, Caitlin Clark denied the media their usual scapegoat. There was no villain left to attack except her, and that simply wouldn't do.
I think on both fronts, merit and publicity, you of course mentioned it, it's just a total swing and a miss by the national governing body, by USA Basketball. But I'll start with my answer by saying I have covered this women's basketball team, and I've covered it longer than anyone else probably. And what happens when you go to a women's gold medal game, U.S. women's basketball, the greatest team, most dominant team on the planet, men's, women's, any sport, Rich, I could make that case. They last lost in the 1992 Olympics. That's how good they are.
What Stephen A. couldn't say out loud was clear. Caitlin Clark disrupted the hierarchy. She reminded everyone that power isn't always about the loudest voice. Sometimes it's silence, absence, or choosing not to play along. In an industry built on predictability, her calm refusal was more explosive than any outburst. The jersey, the flag, and the opportunity remain, but the assumption that she must always say yes was shattered, live on television. And through it all, she stayed focused, in control, and completely unbothered.